Welcome to A Cask of Men. Today I'm serving you guys up the 10 things I wish I knew before buying my first turntable. So, pour yourself a drink and let's jump right in. Number 1, patience. Alright, I'm gonna level with you guys. Owning a turntable is a physical and manual process. You can't swap out the records like you would on a turntable. God damn it. I'm gonna level with you guys. Owning a turntable is a physical and manual process. There are a lot of things you have to do to care and properly maintain the turntable. You have to store your records. You can't skip tracks as easy as you would on another device. If you buy a vintage turntable or used, you're gonna have to troubleshoot some issues. All of this takes a lot of patience. We're gonna talk about cleaning a little later, even setting up the room. So if it isn't for you, you might not want to get into a turntable. It's just a part of the experience. Number 2, consider the room. All right, so the next thing you're gonna want to consider is the room that you're actually gonna store your turntable. I don't live in a mansion, so basically I just have mine sitting in the living room. That's my listening room. A lot of people live in small spaces. You know, some people live in studio apartments. So you actually have to consider where you're gonna put everything. I know it sounds pretty obvious, but you gotta put it somewhere. You're gonna need a table or a desk. You're gonna have to store all the other equipment that you're running through your turntable system. You're gonna have to store your records. You can either put them in crates or on bookshelves or in whatever creative way that you can think to store them. So at the end of the day, you know, it's more to consider than you think. But it's definitely something I wish I knew. And eventually you're gonna wanna consider the room. You're gonna wanna treat the room for sound, and even the turntable, you're gonna isolate a little bit for the sound. Number 3, the listening experience. So this is really a subjective thing. Your sound preference is gonna be different from mine, from the next guy, and the guy after that. Like we just discussed in section 2, even the room's gonna have an effect on how you hear something. So at the end of the day, enjoy it. It's your listening experience, but you're gonna be actively listening. So you definitely wanna make sure it fits your hearing. If you have a local record shop in town or a hi-fi store, you wanna go and check out their record players so you can hear everything live and make sure you know what you're gonna purchase and that you like it. I've listened to setups that are $60,000 and $6,000, and I thought the $6,000 one was better than the other one. So it just really depends on what your preference is. And at the end of the day, enjoy it. Number 4, price and quality. All right, let's actually talk about buying the record player now. So really, you get what you pay for. As you go up in a price point, you tend to get better quality. This has to do with the materials that go into building the turntable. You also want to look for upgradable parts, the cartridge, the needle, etc., tone arm. So we found that really you don't want to go any lower than $200 in price point for a turntable. Links in the description below for a couple of good buyer's guides that we went through, and they'll explain why. Just for the love of God, don't buy plastic parts. Just don't. Stop. Get help. But don't be afraid to buy used. There are some really good deals you can get on used turntables. Obviously, you want to inspect it, you want to test it, or buy it from a reputable source, your local record shop, hi-fi shop. They'll know how to set it up for you, make sure you're good to go. Some of these record players you can get from the 70s or 80s are really well built and put together, so you can get the quality of like a $400 or $500 record player, but what you normally spend on a brand new one for like $250. Number 5, setup. Alright, so you bought your turntable. Now we're going to go over some of the things you need to know to properly set it up. Those things being, you need to balance the tone arm as well as set the height adjustment. You're going to need to set the tracking force and the anti-skate to match. You're going to need to align your cartridge and do this with a protractor. And most importantly, you're going to need to level your turntable. If you feel nervous about any of this, there are a ton of videos that will go through tutorials and explain it to you. If you're extra nervous, you can always go to a shop, local record store, and have a professional help you tune everything. And most of the time, if you buy a record player from them, they'll set it up for you. Number 6, keep it clean. All right, let's talk about keeping all your stuff clean. You're gonna clean your record player, you're gonna clean your stylus, you're gonna clean your records, you're gonna clean everything around the record player, you're gonna clean your room. That's it. Number 7, hardware.
Hey Brian, I bought an all-in-one turntable for the channel.
Wait, what?
An all-in-one. Easy, right?
Go back to the store right now and return that turntable. Jesus Christ. So, let's talk about why you don't. Damn it! You bought an all-in-one turntable already? Don't. You gotta start over. We talked about some of the quality concerns earlier about buying one of these or one of these. So the things you're gonna need to equip yourself with your turntable are gonna be things like the balanced tone arm, what we talked about, the cartridge. You're gonna also need some speakers and a phono preamp. So the phono preamp can either power active speakers or passive speakers. The active speakers, they're powered, so you're pretty much good. You can go into a mixer or a receiver and just run it straight into the turntable and power everything on, you're pretty much good to go. With the passive speakers, they actually require their own power, so you're gonna need to consider if you have enough power out of the receiver or if you need a separate power amp to power your passive speakers. So a lot of audiophile people in the community like passive speakers because they have more control over what they're listening to. They've got different sound characteristics, and they can kind of tune it to the power that they want. A lot of active speakers you're going to see are more for studio and even live sound systems, so you're just going to have to do a little bit more research and figure out what kind you like. If you're using for other things, maybe more beneficial. It's up to you at the end of the day. Just to reiterate, you're going to want to make sure you're running your turntable through a phono preamp, whether that's in the receiver or an individual unit. Number 8, accessories. All right, so let's talk about some accessories for your turntable setup. This isn't an all-inclusive list, but this is some of the stuff you're going to want to consider when you're starting out. You've got your record cleaner brushes, you got your stylish brush, and you've got your carbon fiber record cleaning brush. You've got stabilizer, some with levels, some without. You've got your record sleeves, inner and outer. You've got anti-static gun, if you want to get into that. You've got room treatment, of course. You got other sound isolation products. You got crates, shelving, other storage for your records. You got slip mats and platters. And you have, oh, that's it. Oh, don't forget the dust cover. I'm keeping that.
Sure.
Number 9, exclusives, alternatives. Hello, my name is Brian, and I have a problem. I'm addicted to buying exclusive and alternative records. And if you spend a lot of money on these, like this guy, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep doing it anyways. But you know, that's part of the fun of going out and buying records and getting a turntable. You get to explore, dumpster dive if you will, and find all kinds of weird colored vinyl or exclusive outtakes or different studio cuts that people have made. You know, you can find a cool bootleg record going for $90. Who knew? But we found one in our local record shop around here, so that's part of the fun. You know, that's the spirit of collecting vinyl. Number 10, community. So something I definitely wish I knew before getting into vinyl and buying my first turntable was the community. I actually really enjoy the community around vinyl records and people who collect and shop and are just really into music. I definitely would have gotten into it sooner. There are all kinds of cool meetups. There are a couple record store days twice a year. There are people who go to record stores or swaps, all kinds of different events. But I didn't realize how cool and weird some of the people are that you're gonna meet. And it's definitely a growing community. So I'd say that's, to me, the most important thing about owning vinyl records and a turntable, besides the listening experience, of course. So I encourage everyone, if you watched our video, if you're interested in getting your first turntable, go check out your local record store. Oh, and don't forget, Record Store Day is coming up next month for Black Friday, so go see if your record store is a participating member, check it out. If you're crazy enough like us, you can camp out in line for 12 hours and go buy a bunch of alternative records that I probably spend too much money on again. So, but yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the video. We hope you guys all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the community. Get a turntable. What are you doing? Go. Go. Get out of here. Go. Okay, bye.